feel like I really understand that we have a responsibility to change the narrative around what we are delivering to young people in the classroom. But I would describe the actual day-to-day learning side of things very challenging.
Princess Beatrice has spent her entire life in the public eye, but the man she chose to marry has often remained something of a mystery. To many royal watchers, Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi seemed to appear almost overnight. A successful businessman with aristocratic roots, a polished public image, and a connection to one of the world's most famous families. Yet the truth about Princess Beatrice's husband is far more fascinating than the headlines suggest. His story is one of old-world heritage, modern ambition, personal challenges, unexpected twists, and a life that became intertwined with royalty long before wedding bells ever rang. When people first hear the name Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi, they often assume he is simply another wealthy businessman who happened to marry into royalty. The reality is much more complex. Born in London on November 19, 1983, Edoardo came from a family whose history stretches back generations. His father, Alessandro Mapelli Mazzi, was an Olympic skier and respected businessman, while his mother, Nikki Williams Ellis, became known for her work in design and philanthropy. From an early age, Edoardo was surrounded by privilege, culture, and ambition. Yet despite growing up in a world many people can only imagine, he was not raised to sit back and rely on family connections alone. The Mapelli Mazzi family possesses Italian noble roots that trace back centuries. Their title of Count originated in Italy, and although modern Italy no longer officially recognizes aristocratic titles, the family heritage remains a significant part of their identity. Stories of historic estates, noble ancestors, and generations of influence are woven throughout the family's history. Unlike many aristocratic families whose prominence faded over time, the Mapelli Mazzis managed to maintain both their heritage and their relevance in modern society. This combination of tradition and adaptability would later become one of Edoardo's defining characteristics. As a young man, Edoardo attended prestigious schools in England and developed a reputation for being intelligent, driven, and entrepreneurial. Friends often described him as focused and ambitious. While some expected him to pursue a conventional path in finance or politics, he discovered a passion for property development and design. That interest eventually led him to establish Bonda Property, a company specializing in luxury real estate and high-end interior design. What began as an ambitious venture soon evolved into a respected brand associated with sophisticated developments and elegant living spaces. The success of Bonda helped establish Edoardo as more than just a man with a famous surname. He became known in London's property world as someone with a keen eye for detail and a talent for transforming spaces into highly desirable homes. Clients appreciated his ability to combine luxury with practicality, while industry insiders recognized his skill in identifying opportunities within a competitive market. Over time, Bonda became associated with some of the most exclusive residential projects in London and beyond. The company's growth demonstrated that Edoardo was capable of building his own reputation rather than simply inheriting one. One aspect of Edoardo's story that resonates with many people is his openness about living with dyslexia. While dyslexia can present challenges in traditional educational settings, Edoardo has spoken about how it encouraged him to think differently and develop strengths in visual creativity. Rather than viewing the condition as a limitation, he learned to use it as an advantage in the world of design and property development. This perspective helped shape his professional approach and contributed to the innovative thinking that became a hallmark of his business career. Long before he became Princess Beatrice's husband, Edoardo experienced significant milestones and challenges in his personal life. He was engaged to architect Dara Huang, a highly accomplished designer known for her own successful career. Together, they welcomed a son, Christopher Wolfe Mapelli M. Otzi, affectionately known as Wolfie. The arrival of Wolfie transformed Edoardo's life and introduced him to the responsibilities of fatherhood. Although his relationship with Dara eventually ended, both parents remained committed to raising their son and maintaining a cooperative co-parenting relationship. The existence of Wolfie added a unique dimension to the story that would later unfold between Edoardo and Princess Beatrice. When Beatrice entered his life, she did not simply fall in love with a businessman. She became part of a family that already included a young child. By all accounts, Beatrice embraced that role with warmth and enthusiasm. Observers often note how naturally Wolfie appears integrated into the family, and many royal commentators have praised the mature and respectful approach taken by all parties involved. In an era when blended families are increasingly common, their situation reflects a modern family structure rather than a traditional royal fairy tale. The relationship between Eduardo and Princess Beatrice did not emerge from nowhere. Their families had known each other for years through overlapping social circles and long-standing friendships. Unlike dramatic romantic stories built on chance encounters, theirs developed from familiarity and shared connections. Both had experienced previous relationships, personal growth, and significant life lessons before finding each other. This foundation may explain why their relationship appeared remarkably stable from the outset. When news of their romance became public, interest intensified almost immediately. Princess Beatrice, the eldest daughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, had spent her entire life under media scrutiny. Every aspect of her personal life attracted attention, and a new relationship was no exception. Suddenly, people wanted to know everything about the man who had captured the heart of a princess. Questions about his family, career, finances, and past relationships filled newspapers and online publications. Yet throughout the growing media attention, Eduardo remained relatively composed and private. Their engagement announcement in September 2019 generated excitement among royal fans around the world. The proposal reportedly took place during a trip to Italy, a location that reflected Eduardo's family heritage. The engagement ring attracted particular attention for its elegant design and distinctive appearance. For Beatrice, the engagement represented a joyful new chapter after years of navigating public expectations and personal challenges. For Eduardo, it marked the beginning of life under an even brighter spotlight. However, their path to marriage proved far from straightforward. Originally, the couple planned a larger royal wedding that would have attracted significant public attention. Yet circumstances beyond their control dramatically altered those plans. The controversy surrounding Prince Andrew's public reputation created difficulties for the family. And then, the COVID-19 pandemic transformed life across the globe. Like countless other couples, Beatrice and Eduardo were forced to reconsider their wedding arrangements. Instead of a grand public ceremony, they married in July 2020 during a small, private service attended by close family members. The intimate wedding became one of the most memorable royal ceremonies in recent history precisely because of its simplicity. Beatrice wore a vintage gown borrowed from her grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, along with the Queen's diamond fringe tiara. In a period marked by uncertainty and disruption, the ceremony carried a sense of continuity, family tradition, and resilience. What might have seemed disappointing under normal circumstances became a uniquely meaningful celebration. Marriage brought new responsibilities and opportunities for the couple. Unlike senior working royals, Beatrice and Eduardo have maintained professional careers outside traditional royal duties. Eduardo continues to lead his property business, while Beatrice has pursued roles in the private sector. Their lifestyle reflects a blend of royal heritage and modern professional ambition. Rather than relying entirely on royal status, both have chosen to remain actively engaged in their respective careers. Their family expanded further in September 2021 with the birth of their daughter, Sienna Elizabeth Mapelli Mazzi. The arrival of Sienna delighted both sides of the family and introduced a new generation to the royal lineage. Observers noted how naturally Sienna joined a household that already included Wolfie, reinforcing the family's blended dynamic. For Eduardo, becoming a father again represented another significant milestone and deepened his commitment to family life. A few years later, the family celebrated the arrival of another daughter, Athena Elizabeth Rose Mapelli Mazzi. The birth came earlier than expected, creating understandable concern for the parents. Experiences surrounding Athena's premature arrival reportedly had a profound impact on Beatrice and influenced some of her subsequent charitable interests. Through the challenges, Eduardo remained a supportive presence, reinforcing the image many people had already formed of him as a devoted husband and father. Despite the glamour often associated with royalty, much of Eduardo's appeal appears rooted in qualities that are surprisingly ordinary. Friends and acquaintances frequently describe him as calm, dependable, and attentive. These characteristics may explain why he has largely avoided the controversies and public missteps that sometimes accompany life in royal circles. While scandals and headlines have periodically affected other members of the extended royal family, Eduardo has generally remained focused on his business, family, and personal commitments. His ability to maintain that balance is particularly noteworthy given the environment in which he operates. Marrying into the British royal family inevitably brings intense scrutiny. Every public appearance, social interaction, and family decision can become the subject of media analysis. Yet Eduardo has managed to establish a reputation for discretion and professionalism. Rather than seeking attention, he often appears content to support his wife while continuing his own work behind the scenes. Another reason people remain fascinated by Eduardo is the contrast between his aristocratic heritage and his modern outlook. On one hand, he comes from a family with centuries of history and noble traditions. On the other, he is an entrepreneur who built a successful company in a highly competitive industry. This combination allows him to move comfortably between different worlds. He can attend royal events and formal ceremonies, while also discussing architecture, business strategy, and property development with industry leaders. In many ways, the truth about Princess Beatrice's husband is that he defies easy categorization. He is neither simply a royal spouse nor merely a businessman. He is a father, entrepreneur, aristocrat, husband, and public figure whose life intersects with multiple worlds. His story includes privilege, but it also includes hard work. It includes family tradition, but also personal reinvention. It includes public attention, but also a clear preference for privacy. As the years pass, Eduardo Mapelli Mazzi continues to build both his professional legacy and his family life. While royal headlines often focus on drama and controversy, his story stands out for a different reason. Rather than becoming known for scandal, he has become known for stability. Rather than chasing attention, he has focused on relationships, work, and long-term goals. In a family frequently defined by public fascination, that may be one of the most remarkable achievements of all. Ultimately, the truth about Princess Beatrice's husband is not found in titles, wealth, or headlines. It lies in the quieter details of his life, the business he built, the family he cherishes, the challenges he has overcome, and the steady presence he brings to those around him. He entered one of the world's most scrutinized families, carrying his own history, responsibilities, and ambitions. Years later, he remains a figure of enduring interest not because of controversy, but because he has successfully balanced tradition and modernity while building a life that is uniquely his own.